فإن آمنوا بمثل ما آمنتم به فقد اهتدوا وإن تولوا فإنما هم في شقاق.
والصلاة والسلام رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سار على سبيله إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. في هذه الليلة, in this particular night, that we wish to invite Fadilat Shaykh Anis, who's from Emirates, and the Shaykh Hafidullah. I've been visiting England for the past week, and I've traveled to various masajid in doing lectures on various topics. So tonight or today he's with us, and we'll continue until tomorrow inshallah ta'ala, and then the Shaykh will return. So as for Shaykh Anis, that the Shaykh, as we mentioned, is from United Emirates, and also that the Shaykh, he has studied with some of the Shaykh from his own country, and including also Shaykh Ibn Qasim Rahimahullah. And so the Shaykh tonight inshallah ta'ala will be discussing a topic that is called matters relating to Muslim living in the West. So without any further ado, we'll ask Shaykh Anis to start his lecture. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Tafadhal Shaykh.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله عز وجل وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم شر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة كل بدعة ضلالة كل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد. نبدأ بإذن الله عز وجل، لكن قبل ذلك ينبغي أن نقدم بمقدمة، وهي أن العاطفة لا شأن لها وفي الحكم على الأمور الشرعية، وأن العبرة بذلك بالدليل الشرعي.
Bismillah, the Shaykh Anis Hafidullah, he started the lecture tonight, that starting off first by the praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then also sending the salutation upon the Prophet ﷺ, and then the Shaykh, he mentioned generally in brief Khutbatul Hajjah as the opening address. Then the Shaykh said, as for the first thing to start regarding this particular discussion, is to kind of somewhat to note that in discussing these matters, and discussing matters concerning the ruling of the Sharia on matters, that is not per se based upon the person's emotion, but rather these things that is based upon dalil. So these matters are not based upon emotions. It's more so goes back to the evidence that is provided or mentioned regarding these particular matters.
أحيانا قد يحب المسلم أمرا ولكن الشريعة تنهى عن هذا، فينبغي أن ينتبه لأمر الشريعة.
So the Shaykh says sometimes we might find that within ourselves we might gravitate or have a love for towards a particular matter, but rather the person should always go back to the Sharia regarding concerning the hukum, not based upon what we are more inclined towards or what we more gravitate towards, but rather we should go back and stick to what the hukum that the Sharia have given.
فمن ذلك أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كانت كما تعلمون أمه توفيت على غير الإسلام، فلما زار قبرها صلى الله عليه وسلم استأذن ربه أن يستغفر لها، فلم يأذن الله له أن يستغفر لأمه.
Then Shaykh said, for example, as an example, that the Prophet Islam, that when his mother died, that the Prophet Islam, that his mother had died, and she died upon other than Islam, and that he and the Prophet Islam, that he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permission so that he could visit her and the likes, but this was not given. So he asked to make istighfar and the likes. So based upon that his mom, she died as a non-Muslim, then those things were not given for him to make istighfar and seek forgiveness for her due to the fact that she died upon Islam. So
وكان من أحب الناس إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حمزة بن عبد المطلب، فهو عمه وهو يعني أسد الله ورسوله. ثم لما استشهد رضي الله تعالى عنه في غزوة أحد قتله وحشي، جاء وحشي إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وقبل إسلامه ولم يقتله بعمه حمزة ابن عبد المطلب.
So I also mentioned regarding also another case regarding that the Prophet Islam Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, that he was of the most beloved individual, very loved to the Prophet Islam, but when he was killed or murdered, that the person eventually who killed him, the person who was responsible for his death, so the Prophet loved him and he was very dear to him. But when he was killed by this person who killed him, that the person, when he was brought to the Prophet Islam, then the person, he accepted Islam. But this was the person who killed someone who was very dear to him, to the Prophet Islam. So when the person accepted Islam, this person was not killed because he had made tawbah and accepted Islam. So this person was not per se killed, not based upon emotions.
إذن العبرة في ذلك بالدليل الشرعي.
So instead the matters, these matters that what it goes back to, what we rely upon is going back to Islam and going back to evidence based upon their Sharia.
ليس حبنا للشيء أو بغضنا أو بغضنا له.
So it's not per se that it goes back to what we like or what we dislike, both based upon our own inclinations.
وأهم مسألة في هذا الباب هي مسألة التعامل مع غير المسلمين التي ينبغي أن تتضح لكل مسلم.
So it's of these things that is important regarding that of these matters to be looked into, and the Muslims should try to understand regarding how we relate and how we deal with people who are non-Muslim. So it's going back to the Sharia regarding how to go about this matter.
مسألة الفرق بين المحبة الدينية والمحبة الطبيعية.
And also to distinguish between what is said to be or what is called considered mahabbat ad-diniya, loving for the sake of the religion based upon Islamic terms, and also loving based upon something which is, we said, use the word natural love.
فالمحبة الدينية أن تحب غير المسلمين لأجل دينهم.
So mahabbat ad-diniya, loving for the sake of, based upon Islamic principles, that we love based upon we love based upon those principles of Islam, and also regarding then mahabbat ad-diniya.
نعم. مثلا أحب البوذي لأنه يعبد بوذا فهذا حرام وكفر.
So regarding the person the person loving a person who is of another religion, as specified, those who are, example, Hindu. So it says, no, this, if a person should love such a person or upon such religion, then this is, for the person's sake of the person's religion, then it is something which is not permissible.
أو أحب من يعبد الصليب لأجل أنه يعبد الصليب.
Or the person may love someone who is a worshipper of the cross, so you love the person knowing that that person is a worshipper of the cross, and you love him for that sake, for that reason.
فهذه كلها محبة دينية محرمة وكفر مخرجة من ملة الإسلام.
And if a person was to love someone for those reasons, based upon them being upon what they are upon, then this is considered to be loving for the sake of, for religion, on religious lines, and that is something Islam is not permissible for loving those people for that reason, and it's something which is haram.
كل ما يتفرع منها فهو أيضا كفر كذلك.
And anything that also that is a sub branch from this, now relates to this, then this also, it will fall into kufr and not something which is permissible.
كأن ينصرهم لأجل دينهم ولأجل أن يعلو دينهم على غيرهم من الأديان.
So also another example is that a person aiding and assisting them for their religion to be triumphant and to over other religion, then this is something also which is not permissible.
والقسم الثاني هو المحبة الطبيعية.
And the second type of love is love which is something which is natural.
المحبة الطبيعية طبعا لغير المسلمين.
So this concerns this second level or the second category, loving, which is the love which is natural. This is something a person loving not other than a Muslim for this sake.
فهذه محبة جائزة.
So this category, it is something which is permissible.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يحب عمه أبا طالب وكان أبو طالب كافرا مشركا.
So the Prophet said that he had love for his uncle Abu Talib, even though he was not a Muslim. So this is something which was natural.
والله عز وجل قد نص على ذلك وبين أن النبي كان يحب عمه.
And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mentioned this regarding the Prophet of Islam having this love, identified the Prophet of Islam had this love for his uncle. This matter was mentioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
قال الله عز وجل إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. نزلت في أبي طالب.
So I mentioned that this is mentioned in the Quran, but we're saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the English rendering that indeed you you do not per se the one that you that you do not guide the one that you love, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides them.
والله سبحانه وتعالى قد أذن لنا بالزواج من الكتابيات النصرانية واليهودية.
And also show an example regarding this type of natural type of love, that even to others of other religion, that a Muslim, it is permissible or allowed that is to marry a Christian or a Jewish woman.
ولا شك أن المسلم إذا تزوج زوجته نصرانية قد يحبها محبة طبيعية لجمالها أو نحو ذلك.
So a Muslim who may marry a Christian or a Jewish lady, that husband will have love for her, which is a natural love, because of maybe her beauty and things of this nature.
فهذا جائز لأن الله قد أذن في الزواج وعلم سبحانه وتعالى أن المحبة الطبيعية تترتب على الزواج.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala given permission that one can marry from those people, knowing that the person who would marry from those people, that the person may have love towards that lady that he married, that is not from his religion.
فلا بد أن نفرق بين المحبتين، المحبة الدينية والمحبة الطبيعية.
So it is important that we make clear distinction between those two types of love. One which is diniya, based upon religious boundaries, and the other which is natural.
المحبة الدينية كفر.
So mahabbat diniya, loving regarding on the boundaries of religion, then that can fall into kufr, if given to the wrong set of people.
والمحبة الطبيعية جائزة.
And loving natural love, then this is permissible if it is given for people who are of a different faith.
لو سألتكم ما هي المحبة الدينية الآن من يجيب؟
So if we were to ask which mahabbat ad-din and what is this?
أحد يجيب؟ هل ممكن أحد يجيب يا شيخ عمر؟
Can any of you explain what is mahabba diniya? We need an answer from one of you. Like this name? Arfa?
لا نريد الذي لا رفع لم يرفع.
So we need from the ones who did not raise their hands to answer. So except for 1, 2, 3.
طيب تعرف المحبة الدينية؟
Young man.
لا الذي في الأول في الصف نعم.
أنت. محبة دينية.
When you love someone who's non-Muslim and purely because of their religion, i.e. if you love from someone's Al-Kitab, you love them because of their religion, i.e. the worshipping of the cross and whatnot.
ذكر إذا تحب مثلا الإنسان هو على غير الإسلام من اليهود أو النصارى من أهله وهو أهل الصليب فتحبهم بأجل دينهم.
أحسن. جزاك الله خير. إذا هذه هي المحبة الدينية.
So this is, as I said, what you said is correct, and this is mahabba diniya.
فرق بينها وبين المحبة الطبيعية.
So there's a difference between loving for the sake of religion, religious boundaries, and also which is one which is natural.
فأغلب مسائل الولاء والبراء تتعلق بالمحبة الدينية.
So I said most of the masahil, majority of the matters that relates to wala wal bara, love and hate for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is based upon those lines. Mahabba ad-diniya, mahabba diniya.
فكل من يعني فعل فعلا لهم لأجل إعانتهم على دينهم أو يعني علو دينهم فهذا كفر ومحرم.
So anyone who does an act or assist them or aid them in a matter regarding to make their religion more dominant, then this is kufr.
أما غير ذلك فسيأتي الكلام عليه إن شاء الله بالتفصيل.
And other than this, then the Shaykh Hafidhullah mentioned that he'll clarify this in more details to come.
المسألة الأولى أيضا في هذا التي يكثر عنها السؤال في هذه البلاد هي حكم الهجرة من غير بلاد الإسلام إلى بلاد الإسلام.
So the next matter that this question is posed a lot regarding us living in the West, regarding what's the hukum al-shari'ah regarding one making hijrah, migration from these lands to the land of the Muslim.
الهجرة لها 4 صور، ليست لها صورة واحدة.
So I said hijrah, and we use the word hijrah meaning migration, right, from one place to another. That al-hijrah, it has 4 different types.
أو 4 درجات.
Or 5 different or 4 levels.
الأولى الهجرة الأولى هي بمعنى أن يهاجر أن لا يستطيع أن يكون في غير ديار المسلمين ولا يستطيع أن يقيم دينه.
So the first type is where the first case would be a person who is living in non-Muslim lands and is unable to establish his religion in this place.
ويستطيع أن يهاجر إلى بلاد المسلمين.
And is capable to make hijrah, migration to the lands of the Muslim.
فهذا يجب عليه الهجرة.
So in this case, then it becomes compulsory upon that person to make hijrah to the land of the Muslims.
لأنه لا يستطيع إقامة دينه.
One, because he's unable to establish, practice his religion.
ولأنه يمكنه الهجرة.
And he has the ability to make hijrah.
الصورة الثانية.
The second system type.
الذي لا يستطيع أن يقيم دينه.
The one who is unable to establish his religion, practice his religion openly.
لكن لا يمكنه الهجرة إلى بلاد الإسلام.
And also with this, he's unable to make hijrah to the land of the Muslims.
لا يستطيع.
He's not have the ability.
لأي أمر من الأمور.
For whatever the reason may be.
فهذا في حقه جائز البقاء.
So in this case, in the second case, then it is permissible for a person to remain in the land of the non-Muslims.
لماذا؟ لأنه لا يستطيع أن يفعل.
The reason why is this? Because this person is unable to carry out that act or to do this.
وقال الله عز وجل لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in English rendering that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't put a burden that the person cannot carry.
وقال الله عز وجل فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم.
And also the English rendering that the person should fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of his ability.
وكثير من المهاجرين الضعفاء في مكة لم يستطيعوا أن يهاجروا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
So Shaykh mentioned that you find some of the Sahaba of the one that they were unable to make hijrah because they didn't have the means.
وكان منهم ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنه لأنه كان صغيرا.
And amongst those who were unable to make hijrah initially, amongst those was Ibn Abbas at that time was very young and
فهذا لا يجب عليه الهجرة ولا يأثم.
So in the second case, it is not compulsory upon that person to make hijrah, and there's no sin upon that individual.
لأنه لا قدرة له على الهجرة.
And the reason being that he has not the ability to make hijrah.
القسم الثالث.
The third case.
من يستطيع أن يقيم دينه في غير بلاد المسلمين.
So this the third case is the person who is able to establish his religion in the non-Muslim country.
ويستطيع الهجرة إلى ديار المسلمين.
And also, second, also is able to make hijrah to the land of the Muslims.
فهذا يستحب له الهجرة ولا يجب عليه.
So in this third case, that it is mustahab, it is something which is highly preferred for the person to make hijrah, but it is not compulsory upon him or her.
والصحابة رضي الله تعالى عنهم هاجروا إلى الحبشة.
As the Sahaba that they made hijrah or they migrated to Habasha.
وكان النجاشي نصرانيا.
And at that time, the head of the state, who was Najashi, he was a Christian.
وكان بلاد الحبشة بلاد نصارى.
And that country, who would say that was considered to be a Christian country.
ولما هاجر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى المدينة.
And when the Prophet Islam, he made hijrah to Medina.
لم يأتي الصحابة الذين في الحبشة إلا في السنة السابعة كجعفر بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه.
So he said that when the Prophet Islam migrated to Medina and established Medina, it took about 7 years for those who were in Habasha, for some of them to come to Medina. And amongst those who kind of somewhat took a while before they came to Medina, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib.
فدل على أنه لا تجب الهجرة على من استطاع أن يقيم دينه وإنما تستحب له الهجرة.
So in the third case, this shows by that example of Ja'far and others that it is preferred for a person who is able to make hijrah, but also he can establish his religion in that land of the Muslim. That is something which is mustahab, that a person make hijrah, not compulsory.
القسم الرابع.
As for the fourth case,
هم الدعاة وطلاب العلم الذين يعيشون في غير بلاد المسلمين.
The fourth case would be those people who are classed or said to be of those who are the du'at in these lands.
وهم الذين يقولون بتعليم الناس أمور الدين.
And they are the ones who carry responsibility regarding teaching and educating the people regarding their religion and fulfilling the religious matters in those countries.
ويستطيعون أن يقيموا دينهم في غير بلاد المسلمين.
And these also, they're able to establish a religion in the lands of the non-Muslim.
ويستطيعون الهجرة إلى بلاد المسلمين.
And also, they have the ability and they can make hijrah to the lands of the Muslims.
فهؤلاء يستحب لهم البقاء في غير بلاد المسلمين.
So these, in this case, it is more preferred for this category that they remain in the land of the non-Muslim because they can establish a religion.
ولا يستحب لهم الهجرة.
And it is not preferred for them to make لا يستحب.
لا يستحب.
And it is not preferred for this category. It is not preferred for this category to make hijrah to the land of the Muslim.
لأنهم يقومون بتعليم الناس الدين.
Because the reason behind this is because that they carry the responsibility of educating and teaching the people regarding matters regarding Islam.
والعلماء لم يهاجروا من مصر لما كان فيها بنو عبيد يحكمونها وهم من الفرق الباطنية الكافرة.
So I mentioned concerning the ulama who was in Misr at that time when concerned that the country was overtaken by one of the deviant sects, that they didn't per se left that country even though it was being ruled by a very deviant sect.
وحكم بنو عبيد مصر تقريبا يمكن 300 سنة أو أكثر من 300 سنة.
So they ruled for over a long time, 30 years or so, that they ruled this particular area.
ولذلك لما انتهت دولة العبيديين من مصر أهل مصر كانوا على السنة ولم يعني يتشيعوا أو يضطربوا في دينهم.
So when this thing about that when this deviant sect actually they finished their rule, that you find the people of Misr that Al-Misr were still upon the Sunnah, and they were not per se influenced by those people.
وذلك بفضل الله ثم ببقاء العلماء بين أظهرهم يعلمونهم الدين بين أظهرهم يعلمونهم الدين.
And the reason behind is because that the ulama they still remain within those lands and was educating the people, so everything still remained as it was upon the Sunnah.
لكن ما معنى إقامة الدين؟
So the question is, what is to be understood by saying establishing your religion?
فنحن اشترطنا في كل الصور الأربع إقامة الدين.
So in all of the four cases that were mentioned of the things that was being mentioned repeatedly, establish your religion.
فهي ترجع إلى أن من لم يستطع أن يقيم دينه.
So the one who's unable to establish his religion.
فهذا يجب عليه الهجرة على كل حال.
So in that case, the person in all cases for him to make hijrah.
سواء كان داعية.
Whether the person is a qala da'i.
أو ساكنا.
Or the person is just one who is a resident.
ولا يرخص إلا لمن لا يستطيع لأن لا قدرة له.
So there is no leniency except for the person
إلا للذي لا قدرة له.
Except for those who doesn't have the ability to make hijrah. They cannot per se get up and go.
ومن استطاع أن يقيم دينه.
So the one who's able can establish his religion.
فهم قسمان.
There are two categories.
الأول تستحب له الهجرة.
Though the first category where it is preferred for them to make hijrah.
وهو من يستطيع.
And those are the ones who have the ability.
وهم من عامة الناس.
And they are from the general people.
والثاني لا يستحب له الهجرة.
And the second category are those that is not preferred for them to make hijrah.
وهم الدعاة إلى الله.
And they are the ones that are said to be the dua and the teacher, the educators.
إذا الأمر كله يدور على إقامة الدين.
So all of this relates to being able to establish your religion.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هاجر من مكة هو وأصحابه لأنهم لم يكونوا يستطيعوا أن يقيموا دينهم.
And the Prophet ﷺ, that he and the companions of the Sahaba that they made hijrah from Mecca to Medina. And that was because they were unable to establish their religion in that city.
وهاجر الصحابة إلى الحبشة لأنهم في الحبشة كانوا يستطيعون أن يقيموا دينهم. And the Sahaba, some of the companions, that they made migration to Habasha based upon the fact that there they were able to establish their religion. إذا العبرة هي إقامة الدين. So he said that the emphasis is related to being able to establish your religion. وما هي إقامة الدين? So the question is, what is deemed to be being able to establish your religion? أصح الأقوال طبعا في خلاف بين أهل العلم. So Shaykh, in general, there is a difference between the ulama, discussion between the ulama. لكن أصح الأقوال ما قال الشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله
So
تعالى.
it's not there's a discussion between the ulama regarding what is intended or what is meant by establishing a religion, but the more correct view regarding that is what is mentioned by Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah.
قال إقامة الدين هي فعل الواجبات وترك المحرمات.
So the person who is said to be establishing religion is the person who is able to carry out those things which is wajib upon him, the wajibat of Islam, and also he can avoid those things which is the clear muharramat.
فمن استطاع أن يمارس فعل الواجبات وترك المحرمات.
So the person who can carry out doing the wajibat and also he can avoid those things which is clearly haram.
وهو زوجته وأبنائه.
For him and his wife and his children, his family.
هذا قد أقام الدين.
Then that person is said to be that he is able to establish his religion.
فهذا الذي عليه الأحكام تدور هي إقامة الدين كما ذكرت لكم.
So this is concerning that case or that who is said to be the person who can establish his religion.
المسألة الثانية.
The second matter.
في معاملة غير المسلمين.
In dealing with non-Muslims.
هي معاملتهم في السلام.
Is regarding matters relating to giving them salam, greetings.
الصورة الأولى.
The first case.
أن تبدأهم بالسلام بأن تقول صباح الخير، مساء الخير، مرحبا، كيف حالك؟
So we say greetings in the sense that you being a Muslim, that you're the one initiating, giving them salam by the person saying good morning, good afternoon, and the likes.
ولا تبدأهم بالسلام.
And you do not per se open up with them, initiate the salam of Islam. Salam of Islam. The salam of Islam.
فعندنا السلام نوعان.
So we have two types of salam.
السلام التي هو تحية الإسلام السلام عليكم.
So the salam which is known amongst the Muslims, the established Muslim concerning Assalamu alaikum, that's one of the salam.
وهذا اللي فيها عبادة و30 حسنة.
So this is considered an act of ibadah and also it comes with over 30 rewards.
والذي أمر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بإفشاء بين المسلمين قال أفشوا السلام بينكم.
And with the Prophet Islam have encouraged the Muslims that they should spread between themselves by saying أفشوا السلام فيما بينكم أو في spread the salam between yourselves.
وجعلها من خير أعمال الإسلام.
And right of the good actions of Islam.
ما قال خير الإسلام أن تسلم على من عرفت وعلى من لم تعرف.
That here Islam mentioned a hadith meaning concerned the best of Islam is to give greetings to those that you know and do not know.
فالكلام ليس في هذا السلام.
So we're not. So this first category of salam of the salam of assalamu alaikum, we're not. This is the discussion is not related to this yet.
نحن نتكلم الآن عن صباح الخير، مساء الخير، مرحبا، كيف حالك.
So is the salam the other type of greeting where the person might say good morning, good afternoon, how are that type of greeting.
أهلا وسهلا.
Or welcome.
فهنا أهل العلم اختلفوا على قولين.
So the ulama regarding this that they are upon two views regarding this.
أصح الأقوال هو جواز تبدأهم بهذه التحية.
So the more correct view is that the person can initiate to them this second category of salam or greetings. Tell you what the greeting is, huh?
No.
Anyway.
فتستطيع أن تقول لغير المسلم أهلا وسهلا مرحبا.
So you the Muslim can initiate to the non-Muslim. You might say to the Muslim, good morning, good afternoon. That how are you? That type of greeting.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
ودليل ذلك.
And the evidence for this.
فعل الصحابة رضي الله تعالى عنهم.
Is the actions of the companion ta'ala anhum.
فابن مسعود وأبي أمامة الباهلي. أبي أمامة الباهلي.
So you have Ibn Mas'ud wa Abu Umama al-Bahali.
صح عنهم.
That's been authenticated upon them.
تحية هؤلاء غير المسلمين.
That they initiated or gave greetings to non-Muslims.
ولذلك الشيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى.
So Shaykh ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah.
قال يجوز أن تقول لهم مثل هذا الأمر.
So that Shaykh al-Islam that he's of the view that it is permissible, allowed that a person can open the greetings to them regarding this matter.
إذن هذه المسألة إذا علمناها أيضا إذا هو ابتدأك بصباح الخير صباح النور الجواب نجيبه ولا ما نجيبه؟ أسألهم شيء.
So the Shaykh's example, so we discuss concerning us, the Muslim, initiating now. Then the second case would be that if they were the one to start open the greetings to you, and you now should you respond or not? That's the question. Should you respond to them or not? They say, good morning, how are you, da 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 da. Should you respond?
نجيب يا شيخ؟
Can you answer?
Yes.
Yes? بالكوب.
ما في أحد يقول no؟
Anyone says, all three says, yes, you can respond. Anyone say opposite?
No.
Okay, إجمالا.
أحسنت الحمد لله. جيد، هذه ودليل المسألة كما ذكرت لكم هو أفعال الصحابة رضي الله تعالى عنهم.
So this is what is concerned, not a general consensus between the bodies that are present now, is that it is permissible. So Shaykh, that is correct. And the evidence for this is what we have mentioned regarding that some of the companions that they did this.
المسألة الثانية لو سلموا علينا بتحية الإسلام.
So the next matter, if they were to initiate in giving us the salam, Islamic salams.
لو قال السلام عليكم.
So the non-Muslims say to you, the Muslim, Assalamu alaikum.
الجمهور على أنك تقول وعليكم. جمهور العلماء يقولون وعليكم.
So Jumhur, majority of the ulama, is of the view that your response, the Muslim response to such greetings from them, that you should say wa alaikum.
وذلك لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان اليهود يسلمون عليه ويقولون السام، والسام يعني الموت. السام عليكم.
So the reason for this is that they mention that some of the Yahud that they sometimes that they would give greeting to the Prophet al-Islam, but they would say Assam, meaning Sam, meaning death or a death.
فكان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يجيبهم وعليكم.
And the Prophet al-Islam would respond to them by saying wa alayk. The Prophet would respond by saying wa alaykum.
فإذا سلم علينا بهذه التحية السام هذا لا شك أن نجيبه وعليكم.
So if they were to greet you in that manner by saying, "No, death be upon you," something a negative type of greeting, then your response would be in that case, "Wa alaikum."
لكن إذا علمنا قطعا أنه قال السلام عليكم.
But if we know clearly that they say to you in clear terms, "Assalamu alaikum," the Islamic greetings.
فهنا أهل العلم اختلفوا على قولين أيضا.
So in this case, they give you a clear Islamic greeting. The ulama, they are two views regarding this matter.
وأصح القولين أنك ترد عليه وعليكم السلام.
So the more correct view, and there's a difference between the ulama on this matter in two camps, of the more correct of that view is that the person can respond by saying Assalamu alaikum.
لظاهر القرآن.
But that is from what is the apparent, what is mentioned in the Quran, what is clearly apparent in the Quran.
لأن الله عز وجل قال وإذا حييتم بتحية
And also I mentioned, and if they were to offer you a greeting,
فحيوا بأحسن منها أو ردوها.
so you should either give them a better one or respond to them with equal.
وهذا النص عام في المسلمين وفي غير المسلمين.
And that text, it is something which is general for Muslim and non-Muslim.
وهذا اختيار ابن القيم واختيار الشيخ الألباني رحمه الله تعالى.
And this second view that you can respond back to them, that's the view that has been taken, or the view that is the choice of Shaykh Ibn Qayyim, and also that of Shaykh Al-Bani rahimahullah.
وذلك لظاهر القرآن. أما النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لما كان يقول وعليكم فلأنهم لم يكونوا يحيونه بالتحية الصحيحة المباشرة، وإنما كانوا يدعون على النبي لعنهم الله.
Hey, so they said that's another reason why that view is more stronger. That one, that's from what is apparent in the Quran and the clear instruction in the Quran. And also second, that when the Prophet ﷺ would respond back to them regarding saying wa alaikum, not giving a full greeting, that was because that when they would offer the salam, they would say assam. Ram, they give that evil, they say that not death be upon you. So you respond back to them by saying wa alaikum, mean similar thing be upon you, upon them what they deserve.
إذا خلاصة المسألة أننا إذا علمنا وتحققنا أنهم قالوا السلام عليكم نقول وعليكم السلام.
So from this, what we can say that if it is clear to us that they have given us the proper Islamic salam, assalamu alaikum, then we also can respond back with Islamic greeting, wa alaikum salam.
وهذا طبعا متصور الآن أكثر شيء في من مسلم تزوج بنصرانية فقد تحييه بالسلام عليكم.
So it's that this particular case may be more applicable to a case regarding that a person who may marry a non-Muslim woman, a Nasara, a Christian woman, and she might greet you, no, your greeting of Muslim, she might greet you in that way, so you might, that matter might apply to you.
طيب.
وقت الصلاة وقت الأذان. Come back here. How minutes before? What time is the adhan? Our salah will end.
It's 5-2 right now.
هكاك إن شاء الله لكن قريب.
هذا غير صحيح.
9:03.
No, 52 the adhan, 52. 8:52 for the adhan.
الأذان. وين المؤذن؟
It's about 1 minute.
تبقى دقيقة ثانية.
نكمل بعد الصلاة إن شاء الله.
طيب, so we'll stop here إن شاء الله تعالى على كل حال. We'll stop here and then we'll return after the salat إن شاء الله تعالى.
أما بعد نستأنف أو نكمل إن شاء الله ما بدأنا. لذلك قلنا مسألة السلام على غير المسلمين. ذكرنا أن لها صيغتان وأن لها صورتان، إما أن تبدأهم بغير تحية الإسلام فقلنا أن هذا صحيح أنه جائز، وثانيا أن تجيب عليهم لو سلموا بتحية الإسلام فقلنا أن هذا أيضا يصح لك أن ترد السلام عليهم لو علمت ما قالوا.
Assalamu alaikum. We ask the brothers and everyone to sit and somewhat those who are here for the lecture to come forward so we can start. I don't drink black tea or white tea. Black and white. Bismillah. So the Shaykh Hafidullah started off by saying that we'll continue concerning what we started before we left for Salat. And when we left off, that we ended discussion regarding at-tahiyyat, of giving of the greetings. And we mentioned different scenarios or two cases. The first case regarding you initiating other than Islamic greeting to the non-Muslim. And then the second scenario regarding that them giving you the Islamic greeting and your way of response. نعم.
أيضا ابتداءهم بالسلام تحية الإسلام هل يجوز أو لا يجوز؟
So also the next matter regarding us the Muslim initiating to them the Islamic greetings. Us the Muslim initiating to them the Islamic greetings.
النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لا تبدأوا اليهود والنصارى بالسلام.
So the hadith of the Prophet Islam we said that you should not initiate the greetings to the Christian and to the Jew.
ويقاس عليهم غيرهم من الديانات الأخرى.
And also what would be also be included in this would also other than those two groups of people.
وقد اختلف أهل العلم في فهم معنى هذا الحديث على قولين.
So the ulama regarding how to understand this particular hadith regarding not to initiate to them the greetings that they disagree into two camps.
فالفهم الأول هو أنه لا يجوز ابتداءهم بالسلام لظاهر الحديث وهو قول جمهور أهل العلم.
So the first group, all of the ulama, all that one, the Muslim should not initiate to them the greetings, and that's the group that is, that opinion is taken by majority of the ulama.
والقول الثاني أنه يجوز ابتداءهم بالسلام.
And the second view of the ulama is that the Muslim can initiate to them the salam.
ووجهوا الحديث وقالوا أن معنى الحديث لا يجب عليكم الابتداء بالسلام.
And how the hadith is taken for that regarding those who mentioned that one can, that it is understood with them by saying to the person that it is not compulsory for you to initiate or just to offer them greeting.
وهذا قول الحافظ بن عبد البر.
And that is the view that is taken by Hafiz ibn Abdul Barr, one of the ulama.
وأيضا قول ابن مسعود أنه يجوز ابتداءهم وقول أبي أمامة الباهلي.
And also from the Sahaba, Ibn Mas'ud is of the group, that view, and also Abu Umama al-Bahili, that one can, the Muslim can initiate to the non-Muslim the Islamic greeting.
لكن الصحيح أنه لا يجوز ابتداءهم بالسلام.
And what is the more correct view? What is the more correct view is that the Muslim should not initiate to them the Islamic greeting.
ولذلك توسط الحنفية فقالوا أنه يجوز ابتداءهم بالسلام للحاجة.
And the ulama of the Ahnaf, the Hanafiya, that they have discussed this matter, somewhat give leniency, a lot of leniency in this particular matter, to the extent that they mention that you can initiate giving them the greeting for a haja, for a need.
وإنما ذكرت هذه المسألة لبيان أنها لا تتعلق بالولاء والبراء.
So the Shaykh said, he mentioned that he has mentioned this particular matter because it's to show that this matter is not per se linked to the matter regarding al-wala, love, and bara, and aid is not linked to this matter.
فإذا رأيت مسلما سلم عليهم فلا تتهمه في دينه.
So if you find, or if you were to see a Muslim, another Muslim, that he was to initiate to them the greeting or open with them the greeting of Islam, then you should not per se accuse the person regarding his religion.
فالمسألة خلافية بين الصحابة أنفسهم.
So as the reason being one that even amongst the companions that they differ in this matter, are different between themselves on this matter.
ولذلك الأوزاعي لما سئل قال إن سلمت فقد سلم الصالحون وإن لم تسلم لم يسلم الصالحون.
So it is mentioned that Imam Al-Awza'i rahimahullah, that when it was mentioned to him about this matter, mentioned that as for you have those who are pious, the righteous, that they initiated them to salam, and also you have another group amongst those who are righteous who did not initiate the salams with them.
لكن الراجح أنه لا يجوز ابتداءهم بالسلام.
So we said, what is the correct view? That one should not initiate or start offer them the greeting first.
يعني لكن تبدأهم كما ذكرنا مساء الخير صباح الخير ونحوها من هذه التحايا.
So as we mentioned before previously, that one should not, what one can do if one wishes to initiate or offer greeting first, then you start with the normal greetings, good morning, good afternoon, and the likes.
المسألة الثانية.
The next matter.
هي عيادة المرضى منهم أي زيارة مريض من غير المسلمين.
So the next matter regarding the Muslim relationship with non-Muslim, the next matter is regarding that visiting their ill. Those who are amongst the non-Muslim who are ill, are we allowed? What's the position regarding visiting them?
فالمسألة أيضا لها صورتان.
This matter also, it has put it in two categories.
الأولى أن تزوره دعوة له وترغيبا له في الإسلام.
So the first case is regarding a person that goes and visit them, and the purpose of this visit of the ill is for you to invite them to Islam.
سواء كنت ستدعوه إلى الإسلام بلسانك أو بفعلك.
Whether you're inviting that person to Islam by way of your speech, speaking to the person about Islam, or by way of you just your by your actions.
فهذا مستحب.
So it said in this case it is something which is it is preferred to be done.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قد زار صبيا يهوديا ودعاه للإسلام فأسلم على يدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And the evidence for this is the Prophet Islam that he visited a young Jewish boy who was ill and called him, invited him to Islam, and this young boy he accepted Islam.
والصورة الثانية أن تعوده ليس لقصد الإسلام وإنما لأنه زميل في العمل أو جار أو نحوه.
So the second case situation is visiting a non-Muslim who's ill, and the intention not per se is for dawah, is that you are acquainted, because of your acquaintance with that person, you're visiting them.
هذا مباح.
So I said that this case it is something which is mubah, permissible.
لأن الأصل الإباحة ولم يأتي النهي عن ذلك.
And the reason why it is said to be mubah, permissible, it is allowed, is because that that's the asl, that's the original ruling of that matter, and there's nothing by the Sharia to say otherwise.
وكذلك يعني إذا مات أحدهم هل تعزيه أو لا تعزيه.
And the next matter is regarding if one of them was to die from the Muslim, that should one mourn, or pass one condolences to them.
في الصحيح أنه يجوز التعزية.
And one can do this. It is permissible one can pass on their condolence to them.
وقد صح عن السلف أنهم كانوا يعزون غير المسلمين.
So it has been authenticated the Salaf that they would extend their condolences for those who died from amongst the non-Muslims.
لكن ينبغي أن نختار ألفاظ التعزية.
But of the thing to take into consideration that we use the proper wordings regarding offering this condolence.
بما ليس فيه تعظيم لشعائرهم.
Which is of those things that it doesn't per se indicate one kind of somewhat owing to honoring their form of symbols.
أو الدعاء لهم بالحسنات أو تكفير السيئات.
Or concerning supplicating for them regarding that for expiation of their sins and the likes.
لكن كان الحسن البصري إذا عزاهم يقول لا أصابك الله إلا بخير.
That Hassan al-Basra, rahimahullah, that when he would visit them, he would say that for meaning that what's the
لا أصابك الله إلا
may
بخير.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not befall you except with goodness.
والخير هو الإسلام.
And the khair, this good is Islam.
فمثل هذه الدعوات جائزة ومباحة.
So this type of greet or da'wah is something which is permissible, allowed.
كذلك مسألة حضور جنائزهم.
And the next matter is relating to attending their funeral procession or service.
أما حضور شعائرهم التعبدية للجنائز فهذا محرم.
As for visiting of their funerals that involve things which is ta'abbud, a form of worship, and to honor it, then no.
يعني كان تحضر يعني قراءتهم الإنجيل والتأمين أو من التوراة أو نحوها هذا لا يجوز.
For example, that in their funeral service that they'll read from their book, the Bible, and the likes, then no, one cannot participate.
لكن مجرد أن تمشي في الجنازة وتحضر الدفن بعد انتهاء الشعائر وتنصرف.
So after, for example, the treatment and but as for what you may be allowed that by following the funeral procession, like to the burial ground, after they have finished what they do inside regarding their reading of their Bible, their thing.
فهذا جائز.
So this is permissible. So after they're done with the church thing, that's English, so they can understand. When they're done with the church thing, then you can follow them. They'll get translated.
طيب والدليل أنه قد صح عن ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنه.
So it's been authentic on Ibn Abbas.
بعض التابعين كانت أمه نصرانية.
That one.
بعض التابعين كانت أمه نصرانية.
So one of the tabi'in that his mother was a Christian.
فماتت ولم يشهد جنازتها ولم يدفنها.
So she died and
ولم يشهد جنازتها.
And he didn't per se participated in her janazah.
فقال أما أنه لو يعني شهدها لكان خيرا له.
But he mentioned that if you had participated, it would have been better for her.
فأن يعني كأن ابن عباس يقول أن هذا من المصاحب بالمعروف في قوله تبارك وتعالى وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا.
So it seems that Ibn Abbas was more of the view regarding that, it's kind of somewhat still being kind and good to them, as mentioned by subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you should be with them in goodness, meaning your parents.
فلذلك قلنا أنه يجوز شهود جنائزهم إذا لم تشهد شعائرهم الكفرية.
So it's what Shaykh mentioned, it shows that there's a degree of permissibility for one to be involved if it doesn't involve anything that is honoring their symbols and their main signs.
كذلك يجوز تهنئتهم.
تهنئة.
تهنئة.
Is a form of christening.
التهنئة تقول مبروك مثلا.
What?
تهنئة.
Greeting, not greeting.
لا.
Not greeting. What's the word?
Congratulating
them. Congratulating them.
لكن عندنا المناسبات تنقسم إلى قسمين.
So as for the occasion, now, what word that we said it is? And there are two types.
مناسبات دينية.
Those type of events, situation which is more of a diniya basis.
أي فهذه يحرم بالإجماع تهنئتهم بها.
So in these cases of congratulating them on these matter which is religious based, then we are not allowed at all.
فمثلا يحرم التهنئة بأعيادهم.
So for example, extending to them greetings, not greeting the word I'm looking for, congratulations, then in those matters regarding their religious celebrations, then no.
أو ببناء كنيسة.
Or for example, they wish to build one of their place of worship.
فكل ما له مناسبة دينية فإنه يحرم بالإجماع.
So any of matters that relates to any form of event or situations that involve matter which is diniya related, then you are forbidden to congratulate them on those occasions.
وقد حكى الإمام ابن القيم رحمه الله.
And the ulama who have stated that there is an ijma on this particular matter is Imam Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah.
والصورة الثانية تهنئتهم لمناسبة دنيوية.
So the second case scenario is regarding that offering them congratulations on matter which is things concerning that is dini, is non-religious related matters.
مثل شراء بيت أو زواج أو ترقية في وظيفة.
So for example, the person bought a new house, congratulating the person on buying a new house, on congratulating the person on them getting married, and the likes.
فهذا جائز.
So in those cases, it is permissible.
لأن الأصل الإباحة وعدم النهي في ذلك.
And the reason being that the original ruling on those things, that is something which is permissible to do so.
المسألة الأخرى أيضا.
Another of those cases, or another matter,
هو إهداءهم هدايا، إعطائهم هدايا.
is offering them a form of gift, offering them gifts.
فهذا جائز.
So after this is something which is permissible.
وقد صح عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله تعالى عنه.
So the authentic Sahabi Abdullah bin Amr ibn As,
إنه كان إذا ذبح شاة
that whenever he would like slaughter a sheep,
كان يقول ابدأوا بجارنا اليهودي.
so he said, start by sharing this with our Jewish neighbor.
وكذلك صح عن صفية رضي الله تعالى عنها زوجة النبي صلى الله عليه
It's
وسلم.
also Umm Safiya, that also it has been authenticated upon her,
أنها أوصت بمال لابن أخيها يهودي.
that she gave some wealth to the son of a Jewish man.
وإذا يجوز إعطائهم الهدية.
So the general thing that it is permissible for one to offer to them, meaning non-Muslim, gifts.
ويجوز قبول هداياهم.
And also it is permissible for one to accept their gifts to you.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قبل هدايا المقوقس في عظيم النصارى في الإسكندرية.
So also Prophet Islam that he accepted like the gifts for one of the kings of Misr who sent him some gifts.
إذا الأصل في الهدايا أنها تجوز.
So the asl is that it is permissible regarding gifts is something which is permissible.
لكن قد تستحب الهدية إذا كانت ترغيبا له في الإسلام.
And in certain cases may be more preferable to offer them gifts and as a form of kind of somewhat softening the person's heart to Islam.
وكذلك يجوز إجابة دعوته.
And also it is permissible for one to accept their invitation.
إذا دعاك للطعام.
So they not invite you for dinner.
لكن بشرط أن لا يكون فيه منكر.
But with the condition that there is no evil related to it in the environment.
والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قد أجاب دعوة يهودي.
And the Prophet Islam that he accepted the invitation of a Jewish man.
وكذلك يجوز دعوتهم.
And also that you inviting them.
إذا طبعا لم يكن أيضا في الدعوة منكر كذلك لا تفعل له منكرا.
If there is no type of evil that is attached to it.
طيب هذه المسائل اللي هي في التعامل اليومي.
So these are matters regarding how one interact with the Yahud.
أما الأكل فأنتم تعلمون أن ذبائح اليهود والنصارى مباحة لنا.
So as we know concerned that as for matters relating to eating from the Jew and the Christian, that is something which is permissible, that their food is permissible.
لكن أكثر أهل العلم اشترطوا على أنها تذبح ذبحا حلالا.
But the ulama regarding eating from the Jew and the Christian regarding their meat, their food, that the ulama majority that they stipulate as a condition that it should be their food is done in an Islamic way, slaughtered in an Islamic way.
إذا علمنا أن ذبائحهم قد ذبحت فإنه يجوز لنا أن نأكل منها.
So if we know that their animals have been slaughtered properly, then we can eat from them.
أما بقية الأكل فإنه يجوز لنا الأكل من الذي لا يعني مجال للذبح فيه كالبرتقال والتفاح ونحوه.
As for the general stuff outside meat that needs to be slaughtered, eating from their fruits and their vegetables, those type of things, then this is permissible.
ويجوز لنا ارتداء ملابسهم.
And also regarding the use of their garments.
حتى لو لم نغسلها.
Even if one didn't wash it before one used it.
إذا كانت إذا لم نرى فيها نجاسة.
If one doesn't see in it anything which is impure.
وذلك لأن الأصل الإباحة وأبدانهم وأجسادهم طاهرة.
So and also for this, the original rule on this that regarding their garments is something which is permissible to be worn. Then Shaykh mentioned another condition which is as their body, that their body per se, that it is something which is not impure. Their body is not impure.
فإذا هذه المسائل كلها لا تعلق لها بالولاء والبراء.
So as for these masail or these particular matters that we discussed, that there is no link between them concerning wala wal bara.
إنما الولاء والبراء يتعلق بما هو من أمور الدين.
So said wala wal bara is linked to matters that relates to ad-deen.
أما ما لا علاقة له بالدين فلا علاقة له بالولاء والبراء لذلك.
So matter that is not attached or linked to ad-deen, then there is no wala wal bara.
طيب الآن نقف إلى هنا ونأخذ الأسئلة وغدا إن شاء الله نتكلم عن أحكام التشبه.
So as for now, we're going to somewhat come to, we'll stop here for tonight, and as for tomorrow we'll continue and we'll start discussing matter concerning tashabbuh, resembling them.